What is up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is April 20th, 2020, and we're back. We're back for another session. It's a full week, full 5-day trading week, so it'll be a great one. Obviously, this weekend was pretty chaotic. You can see oil just completely decimated itself. It's ridiculous how much it's fallen. This is actually a 21-year low, and we'll talk about more of that in depth. But before we start, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment if you're watching on YouTube. Every Friday we pick a winner from Monday's video of possibly winning one full month on our trading room. So make sure you take advantage. Also, if you're not on our Discord, I don't know what you're doing. The link to sign up is in the description below. It's free to get on, so make sure you get on. We have everyone sharing news, analysis every single day. It's a spot to be. Also, we have a few new providers that are just killing it recently. One of them is Institute Trader. He's a smart money-based trader, and he's absolutely wrecking the markets. He's a bit opposite of the retail trader status, and the way he analyzes things is crazy. It's on point, and he's been killing it. So we have different providers other than me as well holding it down, and obviously you have our 5 signal providers, which you all know about. So in today's session, when I go through this session, if you're on YouTube, you can ask your questions and I'll answer them along. If you're on Discord, send them at user requested TA. I already have some questions coming in. So yep, Euro Swissy, we'll be talking about that for sure. Still holding, and perfect. So let's talk about oil, because obviously that's the main topic for any market right now. Everyone's talking about oil. And if you guys remember, on Friday we had 2 potential scenarios, and we closed off on Friday here. And I did say if we do close above this level, 20.85, we could maybe have longs back to 21.50. Otherwise, if we get a bearish closure below 1930, we're headed lower, and our target obviously got smashed and then some. So $12 target. I didn't know we were going to break all of this, but I don't trade Sundays, so I didn't take this trade. I just thought it'd be best to leave it alone, especially since it gapped down. But nonetheless, it went to $12 and then some. And if we just go to the monthly time frame, you actually see which level it's crossed. So you can see this 1186 kind of level. It's been a support dating back to 1986, and then once again in 1998. And now we're finally reaching, we actually broke this previous, we're actually right at the 20-year low. And we have a chance of breaking the all-time low, which is at $10.03 per barrel. So we are in a crazy time. And this is why throughout this whole pandemic, I don't think we've ever went long on oil. We actually haven't. We had potential setups on the intraday, but our main scope, our main focus and bias was sells. And you should not be buying oil during a pandemic. That's just not logical to do. And you can see the past 2 months. This monthly candle alone should tell you the overall momentum. I mean, this is I've never seen this big of a monthly candle in my life, even on some exotics. But this is just crazy. It's crazy. So this pandemic doesn't really have an end in sight. I know Trump wants to reopen the country in a few weeks. Florida reopened and 1,400 people got sick, so it's not looking good. So around maybe a 15-month time span of this whole ordeal to get over with, and that's the best case. So you're going to have things like oil melt. And I have a thing I wanted to show you. It's a correlation between oil and gold. And now on Friday we talked about a potential short for gold if such and such happens, and we'll talk about it. But we need to talk about the correlation, right? So these are dollar-denominated assets. Basically, if the dollar gets stronger, gold and oil should go down, and gold and oil are pretty correlated, as you can see by this chart, right? The blue, oops. You can see how when it rises, right? When crude oil rises, so does gold. Obviously, it's in different denominations. Gold is at 1,400 per ounce, while U.S. oil is at around 80, 60 sometimes. So you can see anytime they both go up, they both go up. Anytime one goes down, the other goes down. Obviously, there might be some delay, and the degree to which one goes up or down is different, but nonetheless, they tend to mirror each other's moves. So with U.S. oil dropping as much as it did, and with no end in sight to the drop, I do think our gold short analysis should play out. We just have to get a good entry, especially since this week is very news filled. I can't even understate that. So today is pretty calm, but starting tomorrow we have the madness with Govlo speaking, the German economic sentiment, which is going to be important for the euro, and then, are you guys ready for this? Wednesday we have CPI all across the board for Canada, and consumer confidence and crude oil inventories for USD. I'm not sure why these folders aren't red. I think they need to fix that. But anyways, and then Thursday we have complete euro dominance for the fundamentals. PMI starting at 3:15 a.m. and then we have flash manufacturing for the dollar at 9:45 a.m. So all of London session is going to be pretty much news filled, volatility to the max. I would not want to be in the charts during this time, or at least the trade. And basically, that Thursday London session would be best to just sit on the sidelines, because you can go to sleep at 2 a.m. like I would, and I'd wake up around 8:30 a.m. with a totally different market. 100 pip moves happening left and right. It's going to be a massacre, but we'll be ready for that. And then Friday, we have the retail sales for the pound, and then we have core durable goods for the dollar. So, pretty crazy week we have ahead, and obviously every single day, Trump and Trudeau, Prime Minister Trudeau, are speaking every single day about the pandemic. Trudeau tends to speak at the afternoon around 12 p.m., 1 p.m. for Canadians, and then Trump usually likes 5 p.m. Eastern to talk about it. So volatility, there's going to be no lack of volatility this week, and so as long as we're on the right side of it, we should be good, and we have US oil just melting. So I probably wouldn't touch this right now, but what I would say is if you're looking for shorts for US oil and you're a value investor, then you can probably enter on a small position if you want. I'm looking, in terms of value investing, for those that do it, I'm more on the stock side of things right now. One of my stocks is actually up 27.52% today, and the portfolio is looking good. And I just went with, just ask me on Discord, I'll let you know. But 27.5% is a crazy amount of growth to get in a day, but you gotta take advantage of the markets. Anyway, so we're looking at pair recommendations now. I know we have a lot coming in on Discord. I want to make sure everyone on YouTube is being attended to, as well as people on Portal. So I'm just gonna look at the pair recommendations, find the common ones, and do those so this session doesn't drag on. So I'm gonna say good morning everyone. Happy Monday and happy 420. Yes, happy 420. Here in Canada, it's legalized. I'm not sure if it's legalized where you guys are, but I don't really, not really a user of that stuff, to be honest, but if it floats your boat. Alright, so we have a lot of people asking for gold. Okay, we'll do gold for sure. Pound NZD. Alright. And, saying good morning to everyone on the portal. GUGA, okay, a lot of pounds. Euro CHF, okay, so cool. I'll do this in order. Gold, Euro CHF, because that's a trade we're still in, and we'll go on from there. So gold, this is the ON, the chart we were looking at on Friday. Let's pop over to the daily. And let's see, so this was the potential short we had, right? Obviously it's on the 4-hour time frame. And no bueno for our entry criteria. So this is what I mean when I tell you guys I don't like using pending orders for this reason. So if you're a new single member or you don't get why RP waits for price action, here's the reason why, okay? Now, Friday I said we need a bearish closure below 1675 to take us, below 1683.65, 1684, and we want a 4-hour bearish closure, right? Now, this closure is not bearish. It's a bearish candle. Yes, it is a bearish candle, but you can see it's a bearish hammer. You have a very long to the bottom, and this will tell you that this is not the candle you want to enter on. And even the past candle before that was also a bearish hammer, and it doesn't tell me the momentum's there for shorts. You can even look at the past few candles, right? They've all been pretty indecisive, right? This one was inverted hammer. This is good for shorts. This was a bearish hammer. This was a bearish hammer. This was a bearish hammer. That just tells me that yes, it's trying to go lower, but there's too many buyers pushing it back up. And so although, you know, if you did enter on this, you could have went to maybe TP2 or even then some, but you can see right after it reversed completely on us and you would have got stopped out. So a bearish candle closure, if you're new to this whole concept, please look at it on our Discord. I've sent pictures of it. But usually you want a candle with a body, so I'll just draw it instead of looking for an example. Usually you want a candle with a big body, very little to no wick to the top or bottom, or if there is a wick, it should be at the top, and the wick at the top should be longer than the one at the bottom. It's very simple. Let me just try to quickly find you guys one. And now they don't appear often, but they're the best telltale signs for sales. So this is pretty good right here as an inverted hammer. It's fine. I'm just trying to look for a big body for gold. There's a lot for bulls, but you know when you see that candle. Now the bias for gold still remains pretty short. I mean, we collapsed fully before 1700 last week, and so when I showed you guys if we collapse below 1700, we're definitely headed lower. So as long as we stay below 1700, we should be looking for shorts. If we do pop back above, then whatever, I might be able to take longs. But our projection for 1800 is still technically valid. I mean, this could just be a minor relief short like we've had in the past. Obviously, we had a miniature short here, then we had a rally. This is a bit of extended short, but nonetheless, this thing could go up. It has to clear 1700 first, and so I'll put an alert in case it does. This thing can really move pretty quickly, so who knows, by tomorrow we might even have a long for gold. But that is that. So in terms of oil completely diminished itself over the weekend. Gold in fact has done the opposite. So these correlates aren't always one-to-one. They could be delayed. There can also be a variation in how strong the correlation is depending on the event. So during a pandemic, gold will be a safe haven nonetheless. So technically it should rise to new highs, but we'll see. So Euro CHF, our mega swing trade with a 40 pip stop loss, right around entry, our entry. It's going to lag along. It's going to take a while, but I'm fine with holding this. So the bias is still short. I thought last week when we had this pullback and rejection, I thought we were going to go lower, but we kind of consolidated. And we do have ECB stuff this week and PMI, so it may wait for that. But again, I'm not worried about holding a swing trade with only a 40 pip stop. That's actually a luxury to hold. So still holding Euro CHF. No real update. The technicals is still the same. If you actually pop back to the weekly, you see I'm currently creating an inverted hammer on the weekly right now. It's an inverted hammer, so it should be good. Hopefully by the end of the week we have some traction down here and we're in some deep profit. Next up, pound NZD. That's what people want to see. Pound CAD, GUGA. Okay, Euro pound, cool. Volatility on this thing. So pretty nice. Oh, perfect. So this is a short trade that was given. Was it last week? Or yeah, it was given last week. 15th. Someone asked for pound NZD, and I did say it will come to this level. Look for signs of rejection like in the past, and you have a short, and that played out pretty well. So whoever asked for this pair, I don't trade it. That's why I'm not counting this into the pip count, but that's solid. That's pretty solid. Next up for pound NZD, I do see this miniature support zone down here. You can see a few wicks from here. Multiple last week during here. You can see we have a bearish hammer off this level, so you could have a potential long again. I mean, kind of a long from here. We had a short from this top range. You could have a long from the bottom of this range. So something like this. I'd probably wait for maybe another 4-hour candle. Because what's going to happen is this 4-hour candle will stay like this. The next 4-hour candle could go deep into this, and then you get the rejection. So I'd wait for the next 4-hour candle, but pound NZD has a nice, pretty intraday long, similar to the short given last week. 3.0 R2R. This is pretty good. Stop loss just below the last wick, so it doesn't really take you out. And yeah, 3.0 R2R. That's what I probably will see for pound NZD. Again, I don't trade this pair, but for those that do, I have an intraday long. But wait for the next 4-hour candle closure, because I'm pretty sure that it will probably go deeper into the blue zone before it pushes back up, even though it's a bearish hammer. If you want the best entry, I think I'd wait for that, but that's the overall movement you should be looking for. You can take profits every 25 to 30 pips as you see fit. Pound CAD, pound CAD. So pound CAD. It's been consolidating the past few days. Actually, it hasn't been doing much. Just since the 16th all the way to the 20th, pretty jammed into here. Sloppy price action. But nonetheless, we have some support here. And yeah, basically for this trade, I mean, not trying to overcomplicate it, and that's when you get hurt, when you overcomplicate stuff. But you can obviously see the bias is short. We're coming off some solid resistance here, right? On the 15th, we reacted to that resistance, similar to the pound NZD trade. And since then, we've kind of created support on the 4-hour, right around here, right around 1.75000, 1.75,000. So I'll put that down. Right around 1.75,000, we've created some support on the 4-hour. Now you can see we've struggled to get a 4-hour bearish closure below the blue zone. So I'm thinking anytime we do, we should have a short at least down to this level. In the past, you can see in the 4-hour candles, they do have a tendency to wick down to this level. And I think that's where we'll probably head. It's been a previous support. So if a 4-hour closure is bearish and somewhere down here, it's perfect to go short if it doesn't eat into the take profits. So if the 4-hour closure is somewhere here, that's great. If it goes all the way here, then the R2R will obviously be thrown off and no point of entering. But yeah, it's probably, obviously I have a short bias for it. And hopefully ideal entry somewhere around here. And your stop loss could be just a bit above the blue zone. Like that. So 2.63, similar kind of setup to pound NZD. And if the correlates work out the way they should, you should have a nice short. And my first take profit would probably be the bottom of this wick, which is around 30 pips away, which makes sense because if you look to the left, the bottom of the wick, we've also had a previous retrace from there before you went lower. And if you don't want to get stuck in high drawdown, I'd probably take my first take profit here. So, and then before TP, the final take profit, probably right here where all these wicks have accumulated, and there's your trade idea. So TP1, TP2, TP3. I'll send this in on Discord. 4-hour bearish closure below 1.75,000 should do it. GU and GA, so perfect. GU. Let's take a look at GU. I don't know if you guys hear that, but I think they're doing some sort of road resurfacing outside. It's so loud. GU, pretty similar setup to since last week. Pretty much we want a 4-hour bearish closure, and we're not getting it. We're just not getting it at all. If I just drag this over, you can see just hammers, long wicks. We're not getting that full body closure. And if you actually want, we can actually adjust this level to cover it. You can see right now our clear-cut trend idea or entry idea is a closure below 1.24000 to go short. Now we've wicked above that multiple times, but on the 4-hour, no closure. So now I think this is not a bad setup. I mean, 5.2 R2R on the 4-hour time frame. I mean, sometimes it could take only 2 candles on the 4-hour time frame to finish this move. So we'll see what happens, but I think this could be the setup in play. I mean, it is showing reluctancy to go lower, so it could float around above these highs. but this price action is pretty mangled up unless you're on the 1 hour. If you're on the 1 hour, you can kind of trade from this support to this resistance, back to this support, back to this resistance. It's kind of, that's what it's doing right now. In between this and this, that doesn't really intrigue me too much, especially since we've already moved halfway into the range. For us, best bet is probably going to wait for a push back down here, and then either look for a bounce back up or a break to go lower. Obviously, since we're in the middle of the range, the R2R to the upside or downside is not going to be ideal. So that's my view for GU. Hopefully it does do shorts because we have a 5.0 R2R potential setup. So yeah, mixed bias. I'd probably say short, lean to short. We'll see what happens by the end of the day. Let the markets kind of take in what's happening right now, especially with U.S. oil melting the way it did. So GU, not really anything right now, unless you're a scalper. Then maybe a short. GA has become really easy to analyze. I've noticed it's pretty much an easy pair to trade. So let's take a look. Now our last look at GA was a potential long. Now let's take a look at what had happened. Now the potential long was indeed the setup that we're looking for, but we needed a 4-hour bullish closure coming off the support zone. And if you just count the candles, right, this is an indecision candle. This is not a bullish candle. Huge wick to the top, short on the bottom. This is a bearish candle, bullish candle, but a huge wick to the top, not to the bottom. Bearish hammer, which is okay, but we need a bullish candle. This is a bullish candle, but with a huge wick to the top, none at the bottom, not good. And then we had a bearish candle. What we wanted was a candle like, let me try to find one. Like this one was perfect, right? This was a good, although the move didn't happen, but this is what you want to see ideally. A bullish hammer, or just a candle with a big body like this one. Like this one, but with no wick to the top, because that usually tends to signify a reversal, right? And so GA, the potential to short was there, but like I said, with Aussie dollar gaining, with Aussie gaining against the dollar, pound Aussie tends to drop. Now this thing does look like it will go lower. Since it broke out of this previous support, we go to the daily. You see it's actually a pretty decent short opportunity to go short. Actually, this is not bad at all. I might even have us potentially take it. Probably, maybe later in Aussie. Just these wicks here are kind of scary. I wouldn't want to. As you can see, the candle, the body's trying to close above these wicks. No, I don't like that. That's probably something to watch out for. But you can see the overall spillover. In the past, we have not gotten a daily candle closure below this blue zone until recently. At least that's bearish. So this could be a good sign that we are headed lower for pound Aussie. And this makes sense as Aussie dollar continues to rise. Oh, at least last week it did. So we'll see. But we'll head over to the 4-hour, maybe get the entry criteria, and then decide. But 3.2 R2R is not bad. Now the 4-hour, you can see exactly what's happening. So this line that I drew, you can see the wick here and the wick here, and you can see the body of this candle is trying desperately to close above the wick. You can see right here, and that's the problem with this. So right now it's an indecision candle. It's not a good entry candle. What I'd wait for is hopefully if this 4-hour candle can close like this with the rest of the wick filled out, then I'd have a short, have us enter short today. But if it stays like this, then all bets are off. I'd rather look for an intraday long, in my honest opinion. So this level is obviously making a lot of ground against the pound Aussie, and it's making it work pretty hard right now. So I mean, Jesus, it's getting squeezed all the way back above. So there's something crucial about this level for us. I'll put an alert in case we do break it, and if we do, we have a pretty solid R2R. Thank you for that recommendation. This is a good potential setup nonetheless. So I'll try to fit this in. Aussie USD. Someone asked a good question. Marvin said Aussie dollar if gold goes down. I think he's asking if Aussie dollar would go down if gold goes down. Yes, that tends to be the line of thinking, but recently a lot of the pairs haven't been following the correlations as much as they usually would. So I wouldn't base it off correlations. I'd go off the individual analysis for each pair. GUGA. Euro pound for sure. We'll look at euro pound. It's gonna be a big day for big week for the euro. So, I mean, you guys gotta be pretty excited to enter these kind of pound trades because that once the euro starts moving, the pound will as well. And let's see. So we can see a potential maybe short because we pop back to retest this. This long idea is done and dusted. Pull back to this blue support zone. We are rejecting it like we've had in the past, so we could have a potential intraday short. And if we look at the daily, let's see the daily. So we had a potential long here, and then on a Sunday we gapped up from the potential long, and then we had a closure, bearish closure on a Sunday. So I don't enter trades on Sundays, by the way. I do not like to do that. And then we had a push below the support zone. Currently we're retesting it, so I do think the bias is still short. It's still following that higher lower high, lower low price action. Now the 4-hour time frame shows a potential intraday short. I mean, this 4-hour candle could be a bit more bearish than it is right now, but based on the previous reaction, it is showing a tendency to go lower. I mean, back to this range. Kind of just fill this range out right here. Let me check the 1 hour. I think it tried to do that, but then the buyers pushed back. Yeah, so it tried to go short, but buyers pushed back. But even then, I think this is actually a good time to enter. It gave you a pretty decent pullback. $2.21 R2R. Now it is euro pound. It doesn't move too much per pip. So this is around a 40 pip trade. Take profit. Now, I mean, if that suits your boat, by all means, there's probably a first take profit right down in this area right here. This previous swing low. Now I wouldn't take the setup. I just don't like trading this pair in general, and I don't really trade it, but if this is a pair you trade and you had a bias of short already, I think this is a confirmation that, yeah, you could probably have an intraday short, at least down to the first TP of 0.87150, and then maybe all the way down to 0.68900. But yeah, I mean, I see it. I see the short, but let me know what you're thinking about euro pound, Paul. I'm leaning towards short on an intraday, maybe for the next half of the day, but things could change during euro. Change during the London session for sure. Next up, what's next? USD CAD. Cool, USD CAD. Let's take a look. Now I want to pull up the chart from last week because we had two ideas for USD CAD, and one definitely tricked us, but we got out just in time. Okay, I guess it was this idea. So if I extend this support zone over, thinking long for USD CAD. Yeah, an intraday long would not be. If this 4-hour candle closes like a bearish hammer, I mean this 4-hour candle, let's go to it right now. If the 4-hour candle, actually no, it's not good at all. It's actually terrible price action right now. I mean, this 4-hour candle was down here. Maybe we could have a short to go lower, but it's pulled back since then. Oh, that's disgusting. Now USD CAD's heavily correlated with US oil, and so that's probably the explanation for why this looks so bad. Especially with US oil gapping down, this will gap up. I mean, if this is regular market conditions, I'd say short. You can actually see the nice price action. You know, a nice downtrend. You can see a very solid downtrend. And we already have pound Aussie moving. So you have a nice solid downtrend you can see right here. Now, even though it broke out of the trend line, it's still a downtrend. That's all you need to know, because you can easily draw, you know, your trend line here or your trend line here. Either way you draw it, it's still a downtrend. And today's daily closure is still pretty bearish, even though it's gapped up. I mean, Friday's closure was perfect for a short down, but Sunday completely ruined that. USD CAD, I'd say mixed. I wouldn't do anything until maybe tomorrow. I want to see what Trudeau has to say today, and I also want to see what Trump has to say today. It's a 5-day trading week. Last week was 4 days, so we had to rush things a bit. But we have all the time in the world this week, so I want to see what those two, presidents say, and then we'll have a good idea of, what's going to happen, especially with the OPEC. News from OPEC will also help USD CAD and US oil find direction. But confusing price action. The current 4-hour candle is turning into kind of an indecision candle. I don't want to touch it. Let's look at pound Aussie. Maybe we have entry during this session. The next 4-hour candle is at 1 p.m. So we do have some time, but you can see it's trying its best to give us a bearish closure. And if we do, we'll enter short. So we'll wait. Put another alert. So we'll see. Euro pound, we just covered euro pound. I'm thinking of an intraday short for euro pound. I'll quickly just pull it back. So this is the potential intraday short for euro pound. If I were you, maybe wait for the 4-hour closure. You have around an hour and 20 minutes to go, but I mean, the stop loss is what? How many pips? The stop loss is 20 pips, and the take profit is 41. So it's nothing. It's not gonna hurt you if it does hit your stop loss of 20 pips. But if you don't like losing, period, then you probably wait it out. But I do think the intraday trade should be the most likely opportunity, especially based on the 1-hour rejection. Right, the 1-hour rejection is very similar to the past rejections we've had from this level. So this current 1-hour candle is maybe giving a point of entry as it's an inverted hammer. But yeah, euro pound is not really my forte. I tend to focus on the majors, but and minors, but I've never really traded euro pound too much. Now here we go, pound Aussie. Let me just put an alert way below so it doesn't get activated. But for euro pound, intraday short, long term it also looks like a short. So I'd probably look for a short, continue with the trend, obviously, crossing down. Alright. I think I covered most people's pairs. That's awesome. In only 40 minutes. That's efficiency. Alright, any last minute questions, let me know. Reminder, to get on the Discord, the link to join is in the description below. It's a quick sign up sheet. It'll take a minute and you'll be on. It's free to get on. And also, our April promotion. If you refer 2 friends, you get a free month. Very simple. So if you're on Discord already and you refer anyone, just let us know and we'll add you in. Let me just check the portal. And I think last Friday someone had a pair recommendation that it couldn't get to because I ended the session. So let me see if I can find that one. I think it was oil since we covered it, so it's fine. Any last minute recommendations, let me know before I send out the 50% off coupon code for today. So if you liked today's session and you want to get in on these sessions, we have a really great promotion running all year long for new members. The coupon code is FIRST50, and what this coupon code will give you access to is all my live sessions Monday through Friday, plus our 5 signal providers, plus full access on our Discord, to Institute Trader, Pipsology, Elliott Wave Analysis, price action, and all that good stuff, and all these signals. And it's only going to be for $48.50. So all you have to do is go to forexlens.com, go to Forex Trading Room, click Get Started, get full access, and then you're going to fill out this quick little form, okay, with your details. Click Next. You'll see in the button Add a promo code, and if you add this code, your first month will only be $48.50. I know you spend that much on Amazon in a day. Invest in yourself, get on these sessions, because a lot of pips are to be made in these markets. So I hope to see new faces in tomorrow's session. We do have a 14-day risk-free trial. So if you join any of our paid subscriptions, whether it's the trading room or the signals, and you don't like it for any reason at all, if you cancel within 14 days, we'll give you a full 100% refund. So we also have that offering. So it's you're pretty much playing with house money, and I'm pretty sure you will like this service and you end up staying. But nonetheless, that is that. And if you want some sort of proof or some sort of reassurance, get on our Discord and see the gains review channel. We have people posting profits daily, including myself, and it's full transparency. We even post our losses, so that's the place to be. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys are being safe in the markets and outside. Practice social distancing, and just be there for one another. It's definitely a hard